Welcome to Better Daily Life, where we are moving forward 1% better every single day. Download the app and supercharge your journey at betterdaily.life. Now it's time to ditch facts and get facts with your host and my dad, Alex Van Houten.
What is up, Betterment family? This is Alex Van Houten in Better Daily Live. Happy Friday. It is Flex Friday, and today we're going to go through something to help you on your 1% better journey with regard to exercise. Before I get there, happy day 28 of the Faithful 40 Challenge. I am very excited about the progress we've seen in our community, and we're going to continue to see. We're almost at the end of the growth phase. We've got 3 more days in the growth phase. So you, I hope, have been challenging yourself with regard to your protein intake. I hope that you've also been challenging yourself with regard to your lifts. And I hope that you've been challenging yourself with regard to journaling your obstacles and or worries. And we're about to head into the love phase of the challenge. And don't worry, it's not just like kumbaya, hunky-dory, everybody love one another. We got some stuff to do. We're going to be going through our hashtag My1%. We're also going to be doing a group fast at the end of next week, and I'm very excited about that. And we'll also be journaling gratitude. So stay with us and keep up the good work. Now, today, I want to share with you an exercise tip to help you get a little more out of your muscle growth, and it actually comes out of a program that Pat and I were discussing recently. So shout out to Pat. Thank you for being an awesome member of our community, brother, and for bringing this question to me. But we were talking about how in splits, and I'll introduce that concept in just a second. In splits, how oftentimes the upper body and lower body are disconnected, and that there might be some reasons to add lower body into upper body work. So let me explain splits for just a second. So imagine you're trying to grow some muscle, okay? And to grow muscle well, you kind of have to budget the work of the muscle versus the damage to the joints. Okay, so imagine I want to grow some muscle in my chest, okay? It's just an easy example, so we'll take that. Let's say I want to grow some muscle in my chest. And so I get on the bench press, and I start doing bench press. Well, why not do bench press every day? If I'm trying to grow chest muscles, why not do bench press every day? Because the muscle and the nerves are actually very adaptive, and you would see some progress if you worked your chest every day. And the answer for that, primarily, there's a few other answers, but the primary answer is, well, perhaps it's too much work on the joint to recover from. If you've heard me speak about this before, the tendons, the ligaments, the cartilage, some of the soft tissue, the fascia, those things recover much more slowly than nerves and muscles because of cellular density. So like in a small square space like this, like, you know, I'm blowing it up a little bit, but imagine this is a sheet of muscle, okay, muscle mass. So we got a sheet of muscle fiber right here. If you're listening rather than watching, this is, 2 fingers in a rectangle. Muscle cells are very dense. There's lots of cells in this square piece of tissue, right? Just thousands of them. And I mean, I'm using relative sizes here, but imagine in this square sheet of muscle tissue, so many muscle cells are there. And because there are so many, because there's high cellular density, then the muscle can adapt very quickly. That means if there's stress to the tissue, if there's damage created, if there's some genes that are unlocked and the cells in this area are like, hey, we're not producing enough, let's say we're not producing enough sarcoplasmic fluid, which is what holds on to carbohydrates so that the cells can draw from some of the surrounding area to get extra energy when they're under stress. Let's say that you nuked through all the carbs in that little workout of yours, and now the body's like, we need to increase the sarcoplasmic fluid around this tissue, and so the cells can respond very quickly because there's a lot of them. Like a company with 1,000 employees can do a whole bunch of work in one day, right? That's what's going on in the muscle cell. Now, in ligaments and tendons, in that same square area, there's very low cellular density, which means that ligaments and tendons do not adapt as quickly. So the ligaments and tendons go under the same stress as the muscle, but they can't adapt as fast, right? So it's like a small company with very few employees. They can't do nearly as much work in a day as the large company with thousands of employees, right? And so the same square area of ligaments and tendons cannot adapt as quickly as muscles. So why am I telling you this? Well, let's say I'm trying to grow my chest muscles. I have to work them out at particular intervals in the week so that I can apply a stress to my muscle so that it'll grow without applying a stress to my joints that will break them down over time. Because the strongest pectoral muscles in the world and the best looking pectoral muscles in the world and the most powerful pectoral muscles in the world won't work very well if your shoulder joint falls to crap. if it degrades in the process, because if it degrades in the process, then you won't be able to continue working your pectoral muscle very well, and it's not going to stay, great muscle massy for long, right? So we do what's called splits. That means we work our chest at particular times in the week rather than every single day, right? So imagine that on Monday I do some chest work, and if I really want to grow my chest, I might do some more chest work on Thursday or Friday. Right. And that would be what's called a split. What do I do on Tuesday? Maybe I do some back work on Tuesday. If I really want to grow some back muscle, I might do some more back work on Friday and Saturday. And so I'll do some of my leg work on Wednesday. And if I really want to grow my legs, then maybe I'll do some more leg work on Saturday or Sunday, right? And so that's what a split looks like. If you look at a standard hypertrophy or muscle growth program, you'll see there's the standard bro split. Like, we've got chest day and we've got back day and we've got leg day, and you kind of cycle through those with some accessories. But there's a bunch of different ways to do splits. Maybe people like the idea of push-pull, and so there's a push day, which is primarily chest, but it could also be shoulders. There's a pull day, which is primarily back, but it could also be a little bit of legs. And then maybe they're adding in some hamstrings and quads. Whatever your goal is around splitting, the idea is that if we can hit our muscle groups at certain times in the week, we can maximize the stress on the muscle while maximizing the amount of time we allow our joints to recover from the work. So that makes sense, right? So this is all a precursor to this conversation, and I promise this tip will be quick and easy to implement. But the idea is sometimes you can elevate the success of your muscle growth program for your upper body if you add in a little bit of legs on your upper body day. This comes out of a body of research that looks at growth hormone after a workout program. So imagine you're trying to grow some muscle and you're working on some upper body, right? You're doing some shoulder press and you're doing some chest press. Maybe you're doing some pulling work, right? Well, what we found in the research is that one of the hormones that's responsible for helping you grow muscle is called growth hormone. Go figure. And growth hormone is a powerful hormone. It does a lot of good in the body. When growth hormone is elevated, it actually helps cells to replicate. So it's very helpful in the muscle growing process. However, there's a problem with upper body work, and that is that upper body muscles are very small compared to lower body muscles, and it turns out that the area of muscle activation is actually directly related to how much growth hormone is released in a workout. That is to say, my shoulder press with my tiny little shoulder muscles doesn't release nearly as much growth hormone after my workout in recovery as does something like squats. And squats hits hamstrings and quads and glutes and core muscles. And when you look at the difference in growth hormone after some squats, the growth hormone after a workout is 3 to 5 times higher than it is after even very heavy shoulder presses. And so that creates a problem when it comes to growing upper body muscle, because you could do all the work in the world with your upper body, but if after your workout your growth hormone doesn't come up a bit, you're going to have a very hard time growing muscle. And this is where that conversation comes in, because in certain muscle growth programs, it makes sense to add some lower body work into your upper body day. Imagine if I'm working on growing some good shoulder muscles or some good lats or something like that, that in my back workout or in my shoulder workout, I add a set of squats or a set of deadlifts or maybe 5 sets of deadlifts or some Bulgarian split squats, those evil, terrible exercises. And in doing so, I'm not really working my leg. It's not leg day necessarily, but what I'm doing is cashing in on the hard work of my largest muscles in the body to spike my growth hormone. And then while the growth hormone's high, the damage that I created in the upper body from my upper body workout gets to ride that growth hormone wave, gets to recover more fully and grow more muscle because of it. So for that reason, for some advanced muscle growing programs, it makes a lot of sense to add some lower body work into our upper body days. Now there's some caveats to this. I'll give you an example. So my lower back, personally, my L4, L5, I've probably got not just that bulging disc, and I don't think it's ruptured or herniated. I don't have imaging on it yet, but it can be really touchy. I know it's right on the edge of an injury if I'm not careful with it. So I know that there's a weak point there. I also know that with regard to my knees and my hips, that I have to be careful about recovering those things as well. So if I'm going to do a lower body day or some sprint work, then my lower body needs a significant amount of time to recover. So it doesn't help me to do leg day and then add some deadlifts or something to my chest day the next day in order to elevate my muscle growth. All I'm going to end up doing is hurting my back, right? So it doesn't make sense for me to use that in this way. But imagine my legs get some good rest, and imagine I want to do some good back work and maybe add a little element of growth hormone to that. I'm going to add in some split squats that day. Get about 3 to 4 sets of them in there, really tax my legs on those split squats. And then when I do my back work, when I work on my lats, when I work on my traps, when I work on my rear delts and lower back, when I do those things, my growth hormone will be elevated after my workout, and that'll help me grow some extra muscle. And that's how you use this information. So if nothing else, if you don't take anything else away from me, I want you to take away 3 things. The first thing I want you to take away is that when we are working to grow muscle, we are trying to balance the taxing of our joints with the taxing of our muscles. Muscles and nerves recover way faster than tendons, ligaments, soft tissue, and cartilage. And so that's why we can't work the same muscle group every day. We can't do too much work on the shoulder every day. We can't do too much work on the hip every day because it's really, really hard on those joints. So that's number one. Our splits matter. Number 2, your body excretes a lot more growth hormone, produces a lot more growth hormone following your workout for large compound muscle groups. So your legs, working your legs in a weighted fashion is going to release a lot more growth hormone for muscle growth and recovery than your upper body's going to. And the third thing I want you to take away from me is because of that fact, an advanced muscle growing program can add in a little bit of legs with your upper body in order to maximize your muscle growth effect. I don't see it as a recommendation en masse, a regular thing for everybody to be doing all the time. But I do know that if for some reason you're trying to accelerate your upper body muscle growth, this is one of those small tweaks you can make to your program that could make a difference. Guys, this has been Alex Van Houten on Flex Friday. Thank you so much for joining me in Better Daily Live. Until next time, it's just 1%. You got this.
Thank you for joining us for your 1% better. Be you, just better, in mind, body, and spirit. Go to betterdaily.life, download our app, and check out our 5-star coaching resources. We all have a cross to carry. It's lighter when we do it together. Go to betterdaily.life